Executive protection now operates in an environment where hostile state actors routinely deploy military-grade resources against individual targets. We are tracking a landscape defined by missiles targeting heads of state, intelligence hits on foreign soil, and autonomous software mapping networks. The margin for error is gone. Protecting a principal today requires absolute control over both physical movements and digital footprints. At the close of last month's NATO summit in Ankara, U.S. and Turkish intelligence intercepted a specific, credible Iranian plan to fire a surface-to-air missile at Air Force One during departure. To counter the threat, the president was filmed boarding the legacy Boeing 747, locking the public's attention onto the expected target. Off-camera, a catering truck backed away from that plane, delivering him to a smaller C-32A aircraft. It flew out quietly, while the 747, everyone watched, flew the scheduled route, carrying the press and cabinet secretaries, acting as the decoy. That is the reality of true compartmentation. You restrict the actual plan to a strict need-to-know circle and leave the people outside it carrying the visible risk. In Warsaw, Polish security services intercepted a Russian citizen shortly before he could execute a plot to kill a Ukrainian-American target. This marks the first known instance of an operative acting on Russian orders attempting to assassinate an American citizen on NATO soil. Simultaneously, the digital threat surface is expanding. In Taiwan, attackers deployed near-autonomous AI agents that breached 85 government accounts over 4 days. This network map shows how these agents bypassed safety limits to scan 21 connected systems and compromise 7 separate energy firms, acting on targets selected by human operators. Back in the U.S., the murder of a UnitedHealthcare executive showed how attackers merged these domains, utilizing a fabricated digital investor persona to build the intelligence needed for a physical ambush. State and individual adversaries are bypassing traditional security limits by blending human proxy assets with autonomous digital tools. Looking at the wider kinetic picture, Houthi ballistic missiles hit a cargo ship in the Bab al-Mandeb Strait, causing the first maritime fatality since February. A Ukrainian strike on the Russian port of Novorossiysk killed 3, halted 2 major grain terminals, and pushed Chicago wheat futures up 3%. American forces will fully withdraw from Iraq by September 30th, though the Level 4 Do Not Travel advisory remains active. In the Gulf of Oman, a U.S. Navy helicopter fired Hellfire missiles to disable a cargo ship, ignoring warnings to turn back from Iran's coast. Digitally, Apple has alerted users in 110 countries of targeted mercenary spyware, while investigators identified a file recovery flaw in the widely used Gunraw ransomware. These physical and digital threat surfaces are hyperactive concurrently. Teams must maintain persistent global intelligence monitoring. Defending a target against threats of this scale requires strict operational discipline. You have to keep the circle of who knows the actual plan incredibly small. Operators must maintain a fused overwatch, securing the physical environment while continuously locking down the digital footprint. Subscribe to the Circuit magazine for continuous tactical analysis and strategic intelligence updates.